big, strong running back, and that's their game. The Raiders, on the other hand, throw it twice as much as they run it. So, right now it looks like the rain may have come down to just a mere drizzle right now.
Yeah, it's going to be off and on, I think.
It's, being here where we are in the press box, we've been in the press box for a while. I just went outside about 10 minutes ago, and it's pretty windy compared to what it seems like here. So, I don't know. It's just, if it was cold, it would be raw and nasty. But the fact that it's pretty warm, I think is making it not as bad, seem as bad as it does, at least as far as the wind is concerned.
And so we see standing down there behind their three captains out on the field that they're running. He doesn't look like he's 206 pounds, does he? Number 2?
No.
Ocean City will receive, so apparently lost the toss.
Correct.
And is there a wind across the field? I don't see any flags.
Yeah, I don't see any flags either. I was looking for them. They're going to carry a flag out here. I don't know if you're able to tell much there.
It looks like the wind will be actually at the back. Well, that would make sense. At the back of Highland as we start this football game. Ocean City Aquatic and Fitness Center is an exercise facility that encourages people of all ages and fitness levels to join and feel better. The center has... And Highland in the light blue jerseys, light blue helmets, and white pants. They're the Tartans. And they're getting ready to kick off. Highland, as we said, comes into this game 7-1. And Brian Cooey, who's also their quarterback, getting set to kick off. He's also a pretty good place kicker. Here's the kick. And it's pretty deep into the end zone, and Ocean City will start on its own 20-yard line.
Well, pre-game practice, he was attempting some field goals from the 40-yard line. I don't think he was real successful, but not because his foot wasn't long enough to get it there.
He's 21 for 24 on extra points, 6 for 7 on field goals, as long as it's 30 yards. But right now, they're focusing on defense, and Ocean City, with Ian Ungst in the backfield all by himself. 5 receivers out. He's had 7 consecutive 100-plus yards passing game. Takes a snap. Quick pass is caught over the middle. Drags a tackler out for a first down across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. And that combination of Ungst to Lashley, the tops among all Cape Atlantic League combinations, hits again.
Well, the one advantage that the Raiders are going to have here is I don't think Highland's played a team that throws the ball as much as Ocean City does. So their defensive backfield are going to be tested.
2 backs in the backfield with Ungst. Takes a snap, drops back, getting some pressure, throws over the middle. A catch is made, but just a little beyond the line of scrimmage. Defender was right there to ride Jake Schneider to the ground. Yeah, may have been there a little soon, in fact.
Yeah, the first one was one of their favorite patterns, and Lashley runs out of that slant left, and that one was just a little crossing pattern, short crossing pattern.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Back on either side of Ungst to give him a little better protection against this team that comes after the quarterback well. Here's a shovel pass, and driving out across the 45 to the 46-yard line, just about 2 or 3 yards short of a first down, is that the Billy Kroger.
Yeah, that little inside shovel pass where Ungst drops back, looks like he wants to look downfield and catches his receiver going in toward the line of scrimmage, and well defense for not having seen the play.
3rd and 2, slot to the left. Back to the right. That's King to the right of Ungst. Now he moves him to the left. Takes a snap, gives it to King. He drives ahead, and he's got a little bit of yardage, but looks like he might just be short of the first down. We'll see what the officials think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a yard short, Tom.
They marked the ball halfway between 2-yard lines. I think they got it now. They just moved it.
Well.
And it is a first down. How'd they do that?
I have no idea, but we're not complaining if you're on the red and white side.
First down, Ocean City out to the 48-yard line. They put the ball down originally just past the 47 and moved it up to the 48. Handoff inside and driving out across the 50 for about 2 or 3 yards.
I think one of the keys tonight, Tom, no doubt, is Ocean City's offensive line ability or inability to keep Highlands off their quarterback. We'll see how that plays out, but Unk's going to need a little bit of time, and they do have a good pass rush.
Brandon Pocress on the cover carry there. He picked up 2, 2nd and 8. Unks takes the snap, play action, pass, diving catch made just short of the first down by Schneider at about the 43-yard line of Highland.
We're out in the woods here, Tom. I'm smelling a skunk. And it's close.
44, they're going to spot it. 3rd and about a yard.
Good pass rush that time. He brought 2 linebackers on the blitz, and Unks got rid of the ball very, very quickly for the completion.
Schneider and Lashley are going to split wide to the right. Schneider in the slot. And they're going to run the ball. They get the first down. King drives inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, and again, they're very cognizant. They've seen enough film. They've done some scouting. They're very cognizant of the fact that the Raiders are going to throw the football. And if they can mix some more running plays in than they have in the past few weeks to keep the defense a little more honest, that's certainly going to be beneficial.
1st and 10 on Highlands 37, Ocean City, with its 3rd first down in this opening possession. Lashley to the left, trips to the right. Ungst takes a snap, drops back, pass over the middle is complete, inside the 30 to about the 28 to Bill Kroger, about a yard or 2 short of the first down.
So defensively, Highland is in a man-to-man coverage with a 2 deep zone safeties. And really, they have not been able to stay a step ahead of the receivers so far.
5 receivers out. Ungst alone in the backfield. Takes a snap. He's going to carry it himself. And he looks like he's got enough for the first down, but we'll wait and see.
Divine Young, a 6'2", 252-pound senior tight end, made the stop there. It looked like he was unblocked. Again, there was some pressure coming from the linebacker spot, so sometimes those offensive linemen have to, pick your poison, and that time the defensive end was able to come in and make the stop.
He got the first down, 1st and 10 on the 26. Divine Young was a transfer from Camden Catholic this year. 20 athletes transferred out of Camden Catholic, football players. Ungst back to his right, slot to the right, receiver to the left. They change the play. He comes up, lets the offensive line know. High snap, but he handles it. Pump fakes, throws long down the left side. Receiver's out there. He makes the catch short of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
What a pass. I mean, the ball was up there a long time, but again, as I said at the top, Highland's not used to playing a team that throws the ball as much as Ocean City does. I want to go back, Tom, just real quickly. With a name like Divine Young, if you transfer out of a Catholic school, something's wrong with a name like Divine.
Well, they dumped their coach.
I know.
Everybody left. All right. Ungst takes a snap, hands the ball to King. He drives to the goal line for a touchdown, and Ocean City is the first to score. It's a flag on the play. Flag came well after the play. Let's make sure this touchdown's good.
Well, they're letting
It's a personal foul against Highland. So King scores from 1 with 6:55 remaining in the first quarter. Ocean City uses almost half the first quarter. Henry Soto is going to kick the extra point. Bad snap. He gets it down. The kick is high enough, and it's good. Real good job in there on the hole. I think it was Joe Rapetti. So the extra point makes it 7-0 Ocean City with 6:55 remaining in the first quarter, and they'll kick off. If you or somebody you know hopes to continue playing sports, okay, kicking off is Micah Wade, and he booms it down inside the 5 to about the 1-yard line, returning it down the left sideline and going out of bounds at about the 25-yard line for Highland is Kasim Randall Dale. He's their number 2 running back with 378 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. Johnny Martin is their man, 1,346 yards, 15 touchdowns. And they will take over on their own 25. Temple is here, as a matter of fact. Some Temple coaches to check out Martin.
Well, Nick, the Raiders received the opening kickoff.
Okay, backs are in the eye. Under center is Cooey. And they go to the outside with Martin, and he's driven out of bounds after a gain of about 6 or 7 yards by Lashley and Kroger. He gets it out to about the 33, so give him 8, 2nd and 2. As we said, he's got 1,346 yards and 15 touchdowns this year. He's a sophomore, 5'9", 206 pounds. Receiver split to the right. Brian Cooey, the quarterback, takes a snap. Martin again off the right side, first down, and he's out close to the 40. Keeps fighting across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. So far, this has been an offensive battle. Ocean City took the opening kickoff and drove right down the field and scored. And now Highland's moving the ball. 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. Coach of the Tardens is Brian Leary in his 3rd season, 26 wins, 14 losses. Played at Paul VI. Here's a handoff to Martin, and this time he stopped after about a 1-yard gain and driven backwards. Austin Green in on the stop. Also in there for Ocean City, Jackson Young. So a gain of 1. You know Ocean City's keying on this guy, just like Highland came into this game keying on Ocean City's passing attack. Now Beckman checks into the game as it's 2nd and 9. Brian Leary, by the way, the coach of Highland, his nephew was that outstanding quarterback at Timber Creek who set all kinds of state records. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but they've stopped the play with a whistle. And the referee has come into the Ocean City side of the field.
We got a lot of officials here. 4 of them sitting in the stands right below us.
They're probably evaluating.
No, I don't mean those kind of officials.
Oh, I see.
I mean the ones that know everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here. Equipment problem? Because I just noticed Lashley just threw something on the sideline. So maybe he's got an equipment problem and had to come out. And here comes Jackson Young. And then I'm not sure what's going on.
We still only got 10 guys on the field.
You're right.
Only got 10.
You're right. Here comes number 11. He's in position. Here goes Martin outside. He cuts it down the sideline, and he's close to midfield, a couple of yards short of the first down. That was very bizarre. They chased Lashley off the field because of an equipment problem. He couldn't solve it in time, so they tried to substitute somebody else. He didn't get in time. Then finally ran David Dragon on, and now back into the game comes both Lashley and Sterling. All right, here it is, 3rd down, almost 3 yards to go. Ball's on the Highland 49-yard line. Ocean City leads it 7-0. Receivers left and right. Double wing formation. It's right at the line of scrimmage is the first hit. They handed it off to Javon Randall, 5'11", 175-pound senior. And he stopped at the 50, where it will be 4th down and about 1.5 yards to go, and a decision for Brian Leary.
Yeah, Austin Green, real nice tackle on that play. Tom, I got a brief thing here. Just get a quick update here on the Ulmer Appliance scoreboard. Shawnee leads Mainland 10-0 at the half. Pleasantville 36-0 against Cedar Creek. Also at the half, Buna 21-6 over Glassboro at this point.
Okay, they're going for it on 4th down from the 50-yard line. Cooey with the backs in the eye. Gives it to Martin. He's hit the line of scrimmage, ran into a blocker, slowed him down, and then bang. Kevin King makes the stop, and Ocean City will take over the football on the Highland 48-yard line.
Well, Will Drain made that play, Tom. He took a blocker on, pushed him right back into the Highland backfield, and in the meantime made first contact with the running back. And then the cavalry arrives simultaneously. But I think he's going to get a lot of kudos from the coaching staff when they see that play on tape.
Ocean City at the Highland 48-yard line. 1st and 10, leading 7-0. 4:29 remaining in the first quarter. And Ungst will have Mike Gray, the freshman, 6'2", 195 pound, pretty good blocker, to his left in the pistol. Takes a snap, drops back. Under pressure, he's running now, runs to the sidelines, and he's driven out of bounds at about the 45 or 46-yard line.
Very easily could have been a late hit out of bounds there. He actually was on the sideline definitely heading out of bounds, and he took a hit either just barely on the field or just barely off. I don't think he could have gotten much argument if there had been a flag on that play.
Gain of about 2 on the play. It's 2nd and 8. They're switching the footballs. I don't know if it got wet or what, but as soon as they put it down, it's going to get wet again. They're at the 46 of Highland is Ocean City. 2nd and about 8. Ungst gives the ball to King going left. He gets just across the 45 to about the 43 or 44. So it'll be 3rd down and about 7 for Ocean City.
Well, you can imagine, Tom, this is not the start that Highland expected up here from their team. You're on your home field. You're probably picked by 2 touchdowns here, and here we are, 3.5 minutes left there in the first quarter, and you're facing it.
Ungst, Gray to his right. Looks to the sidelines. Maybe a shift in the play. Now he's ready again. High snap over his head. He goes back for it, can't get it, and Highland's going to recover it. He tried to pick it up and couldn't do it, and it was recovered in the backfield, Ocean City backfield, by Demir Bearfield, a 6'2", 177-pound senior defensive end. And on the turnover, Highland will have the football on the Ocean City 44-yard line.
Yeah, and the rain has started to fall here again, and obviously that football's slippery, which is probably why they swapped it out before, but it's not going to stay dry for very long. I guess, Ungst tried to pick it up and make something out of it as opposed to falling on it. It's a tough call down there, but turned out for the blue.
1st and 10 on the 44. They're swinging a receiver from the slot on a sweep, and he's not going to get much of anything. May have lost a yard. They tried to use Martin as the decoy and swing to the outside, Kasim Randall-Dale, who is, as we said before, their number 2 running back, but he was on the wing. So a loss of half a yard. It's second, a little more than 10 yards to go for Highland.
I mean, the game couldn't have started any better than from an Ocean City standpoint. You march down the field, you score, you're ahead 7-0. Highland goes for fourth and 1 and around midfield, and you stuff them. So, you couldn't ask for any more.
Slot right, receiver left. Single setback, motion from the left wing. They go to Martin up the middle, and he breaks through inside the 40 to about the 36 or 37-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Yeah, boy, he hit that hole very, very quickly.
Ocean City with a couple of defensive substitutions. It's the 3rd and 3 situation, but you got to figure if they went after it at the 50, they're going to go after it inside the 40 if they don't get it here.
Right.
Receivers left and right. Martin's the deep back in the eye. Cooey under center. Gives it to Martin. He's got it. He's wrapped up and ridden to the ground close to the 1st down.
Yeah, I don't think he got it, Tom. I mean, we don't have the same vantage point we do in Ocean City, but I definitely think he's a good yard and a half, maybe 2 yards short.
Stopped by Mike Williscroft. He definitely doesn't have it. The ball spotted at the 36-yard line, so it's 4th and 2 for Highland, and they're going to go after it again. Minute and a half left here in the first quarter. There's a rain that's picked up a little bit on this field. Ocean City's leading 7-0. Cooey comes up under center, repositions Martin. The backs are split. Receiver left and right. Cooey pitches the ball, trying to sweep to the outside. He cuts it down the sideline, breaks into the open, and runs through a tackle for a touchdown.
Boy, great speed. Great speed.
36-yard touchdown run by Javon Randall, 5'11", 175-pound senior, and Highland can tie the score.
You know, an Ocean City player had a shot at him, Tom, in the backfield, which would have even negated the first down. Would have a tough play to make, and he avoids that and you know, races down the sideline, as you said, 36 yards for Randall, and just great speed. I think he hurdled the last would-be tackler there around the 5 or 10 yard line.
So the bad snap and turnover pays off for Highland as they recover. They're trying to, as best they can, to keep these footballs dry. Cooey to kick the extra point. Low snap, bobbled. They're going to try to run it. He scrambles, throws a little pass. It's caught, and he runs it in for a 2-point conversion. He kind of just tossed that ball up in the air. It's hard to believe there's not an ineligible receiver downfield, but he just tossed it up in the air, and it was caught by Nick Teschko, 5'10", 180-pound senior, who managed to get into the end zone for the 2-point conversion that gives Highland an 8-7 lead.
I don't think I've ever seen a play like that.
Magazines, internet access, homework help, and much more. The Ocean City Free Public Library, 18th and Simpson, 609-399-2434. Here's the kick, and it's deep. Back into the end zone and out of the end zone. So Ocean City may be starting on the 20 just about every time. They still haven't put those 2 points on the scoreboard. I was pretty sure they signaled that they were good, but maybe he was stopped short. I'm not sure what the score is, Bud, because they haven't put it up on the board yet. All right, Ocean City starts on its 20 again. They drove 80 yards off the opening kickoff to take a 7-0 lead. We thought that 2-point conversion was good. Maybe what we thought was an official holding up the two arms was a Highland player, and he had been stopped. They waved it off. So it's 7-6 Ocean City. Unks takes the snap, hands it off, weaving up the middle, and picking up 5 or 6 yards is Kevin King.
Yeah, they don't, nobody up here in the press box knows why, but he said that the official waved it off. And actually, you know, I don't want to sound like Johnny after the fact, but I thought I saw one of the officials waving that off. But, you know, then it looked like they were celebrating, so it was kind of hard to tell. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was a lineman, or there was no penalty flag, so that couldn't have been it.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Handoff, trying to sweep to the outside, and there's nothing there. Ocean City staying on the ground a little bit here. King carries again after a very successful drive on the arm of Ian Ungst. So it's 3rd down, now about 7 yards to go. Ocean City at about its own 23-yard line. The clock's going to run out here on top by a score of 7-6. Also, Shawnee leads Mainland 10-0. Hamilton over Clearview 7-6. Delsey leads Deptford 6-0. Pleasantville 36, Cedar Creek 0. St. Augustine 7, Notre Dame 0. Holy Spirit 48, Morris Catholic 0 on the Ulmer Appliance scoreboard. All right, they go to Martin off the right side. There's running room. He follows a blocker downfield, runs through a tackle, and he's out across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. 1st down for the Tartans. Their 3rd 1st down here in the first half, and they've got it on their own 43-yard line. Light rain falling here. It gets a little heavier, then it gets a little lighter, but it's been pretty steady since the start of this football game, and the officials are very conscious of doing whatever they can to keep the ball dry. Martin's the deep back in the eye. He gets the ball off the right, takes a quick sidestep, and he manages to pick up a couple of yards on a play that would have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. Green, Lashley, and Rogers all in on the stop for Ocean City. but a gain of about 3 or 4 yards on the play, and it shows why Martin's a good running back, because he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage.
You know, Tom, you also you wonder if Highland has any kind of passing game at all. You would think that they would, the way the Raiders are stacking everybody up near the line of scrimmage.
515 yards, 2 touchdown passes this year for Cooey. They hand the ball off on a sweep to Martin. He's got room down the sidelines, and he's bumped out of bounds by Kroger. But he got a first down at the Ocean City 42-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, Kroger gave him a little pat on the back as much as if, you know, a sportsmanship type thing, and I don't think Martin was having any parts of it. That the sportsmanship was not reciprocated, let's put it that way.
Ball's at the 43, 1st and 10 for Highland. They trail 7-6 with 10 minutes left in the first half. Split wide to the left is T.J. Randall, receiver also to the right. Martin's the deep back in the eye. He gets the ball straight ahead. There's running room. He breaks into the open. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he is going to go. Touchdown number 16 for Johnny Martin. This one from 43 yards away. And Highland takes the lead.
Wow. Talk about speed.
Well, not just that. He had that blocker in front of him and read him extremely well. He was working on Lou Connie, and he managed to block him out of the way. Martin made the right cut.
You know, when you run that play with your speed guy to the short side of the field, there's not as much room for him to maneuver, and yet, I mean, he made that cut perfectly, stayed in bounds, and as you said, read the block perfectly as well, and right on down the sideline. So maybe a slow start for Highland, but they've made up for it here in their last 2 possessions.
They're going to go for 2. Well, Martin's not out there. And Cooley rolls right, passes toward the goal line. It's caught at the goal line for the 2-point conversion. He got his hands under it. That's Javon Randall, who scored the first touchdown for the Tartans.
Yeah, I actually thought the ball was short hopped in there, but again, we don't have the best vantage point, but the official.
Highland about to kick off. Brian Cooey does the kicking, and he's deep every time, and he is again, though this one's in play. Taking it about the 4 or 5 yard line. Looking for room up the middle is Lashley, and he's tripped up just short of the 25-yard line. Put it at about the 24, I believe, with 9:49 remaining in the first half. So Ocean City will start pretty much where they have every time, except for that one possession after a failed 4th down conversion by the Tartans. So the ball's on the 24, Ocean City, trailing 14-7. Ungst is alone in the backfield. 5 receivers ready to go. Snaps a little high again, but he handles it. Pass to the sidelines off the hand of Lashley. Tried to make a one-handed catch because he led him just a little bit too much. Had he been able to make it, though, he had yardage in front of him. So it's 2nd and 10 for Ocean City, as the Tartans have scored twice after giving Ocean City, after Ocean City took a 7-0 lead. Ungst repositions some people. He moves Rogers to the wide out on the left side. Takes a snap, pressure coming, throws long, incomplete, way too long for Lashley, who thought he was held, but that was 5 yards beyond him, so it'll be 3rd down and 10 to go for Ocean City as they go back to the air. Very successful throwing the ball in the first possession that led to a 1-yard touchdown run by Kevin King. Then they ran the ball a little bit in subsequent possessions, and now they're back in the air again.
Well, I said at the top, Tom, that the rain was going to be a detriment to throwing the footballs with that ball being wet, and I think that's what's happened a little bit.
Ungst back to throw, throws over the middle, and it is, what is it? Incomplete. The ball was in the possession, I think, of Schneider and the defensive back, Kasim Randall, for a couple of steps, but neither of them had full possession. Then it came flying loose, so it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I thought that Schneider had the better chance at catching the football, but I think at the last minute what happened was Randall Dale just kind of pulled it away from him. And again, the football's wet. It's really tough to hold on to.
Jaheim Armstrong is back deep. Here's the snap. Punt by Rapetti is pretty good. It sails down the right sideline. He lets it roll.
Oh.
He's going to have a nice punt average today. It rolls all the way to the 20-yard line.
That's at least a 20 to 25-yard roll. So that's a great kick. Of course, you know, you gotta play defense now against the run. I mean, you've seen a 36-yard touchdown run, a 43-yard touchdown run. So, you know, once they get in that open field, it doesn't matter if they have to go 30 yards or 70 yards. You know, you got to stop them up near the line of scrimmage.
The ball is spotted. We'll call it the 20-yard line. The other thing the rain does is it kind of wipes out some of those lines a little bit. This is a grass field. Brian Cooey up under center. Backs are in the eye. Martin's the deep back. Receiver to both sides. Hands the ball off. Martin trying to bounce it outside, and he's chased down and brought down after a short gain by Brandon Lashley.
He doesn't come off the field very often, Tom. That's a really fine one-on-one tackle by him. That ball, that gain goes for another 10 or 15 yards at least if he doesn't make that stop there.
Gains almost 5 on the play. It's second down, a little more than 5 to go for Highland, who has not thrown the ball at all yet, except for the 2-point conversion. Backs are split. Cooey under center. Hands the ball off. Running room off the right side. And almost pulling out of the last tackle is Martin. But he's pulled down by Sturley and by Brad Jamison. Short of the 40, but enough for the first down.
Lashley also in on it. Again, the defensive backs have a little bit of latitude here because, you know, they're playing the run as well. So that gives them 8-9 guys up in the box, and they're playing one-on-one against 2 wide receivers who have yet to see any action. So still, it's tough. They run the ball well.
Receiver left and right. 1st and 10, just inside the 40. Up the middle, there's a flag on the play, and almost pulling into the open. He does break into the open. Being chased down the center of the field, and he avoids another tackle and another big run by Javon Randall. But there's a flag, and the referee is tagging behind here.
Yeah, and he was signaling over to the Ocean City bench not to send anybody out there. Hold on. This play's coming back, I'm sure. I'm guessing.
Officials conferring. Right now, it's a 61-yard touchdown run by Randall, who has, I don't think, been a big back for them. Now 3-4 officials are getting together.
Well,
everybody's coming back.
Right. I was just going to say that.
Illegal procedure against Highland wipes out a 61-yard touchdown run, and Brian Leary's not too happy. He's asking for an explanation.
Well, I guess the explanation is that one of his guys moved. Sounds kind of simplistic, but again, that's you can't coach speed, and you know these guys are tough to bring down. That's why they're the number 2 seed. Again, the Raiders got off to a tremendous start, but you know they're going to have to tackle better at the point of attack.
Shawnee has scored again. They lead Mainland 18-0 in another Group 4 game on the Ulmer Appliance scoreboard. All right, here we got 1st and 15 for Highland, and Ocean City's calling a timeout. 14-7, Highland leads Ocean City with 7:42 left in the first half. Back broke his collarbone, I understand, so who knows. 1st and 15 for Highland. They hand the ball off, cutting back up the middle and picking up almost the 5 yards of that penalty they lost. Well, it'll be second down. That's Kasim Randall-Dale on the carry. Second and just about 10.
You know, Tom, the difficult part defensively is, you can, as I said, if you don't get the tackle at the point of attack, you're apt to give up big yardage, because once they break, you got everybody up front, and once they break through, the ball carrier breaks through that initial 8, 9, 10 guys, he's off to the races.
Up the middle, and breaking through that middle, and across the 50, still going at the 40, at the 35, he's at the 30, and finally tackled at the Ocean City 24-yard line. Another big run. Rogers made the stop, but Javon Randall has really been tough in this game. He's got a touchdown called back. He's got a touchdown that counts, and a big run there.
It almost like they were listening to what I said and said, yeah, here's exactly what we're talking about, because, he did break through that initial line of scrimmage, and then actually 3 or 4 Raiders had a shot at him and went low, and he just, was able to step out of the tackles.
First and 10 at the Ocean City 24. They give it to Martin, and he stopped just about the line of scrimmage. May have fallen ahead for a yard. Austin Green in there on the tackle, along with Mike Willis-Croft.
Well, I tell you, sometimes you see just real good running backs who have great speed to the outside. These guys are running off tackle and breaking into the open, which means that their offensive line is controlling things right now. And again, you got everybody up near the line of scrimmage to stop it. So once you don't stop it there, look out.
Second and 9 at the 23. They pitch it to Martin, trying to sweep the right side, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit by Ocean City.
I think Lashley, along with Mike Rhodes, looked like it.
Third and 9 at the 23-yard line for Highland.
Tom, they have more success running off tackle, or, between the ends, than they've had running the ball wide, although the one play they did run wide down here that went down the sidelines. The Raiders have been strong in so far in stringing the play out and keeping that to shorter yardage.
Third and 9. Receivers left and right. Martin's deep in the eye. Cooey gives Martin the ball, going right. A little misdirection there. He goes down the sideline, is close to the marker, and looks like he has enough for the first down, but we'll see what the officials say.
Yeah, it'd be 4 down territory no matter what.
No, it's 4th down.
You got to be, yard maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Long yard, maybe even 2.
Yeah, where they spotted the ball, it is close to 2 yards to go. 4:56 remaining in the first half. And Highland with a 14-7 lead.
And looking to get more now. They're taking a lot of time as Highland to get a play in here. They're going to have to call a timeout.
Timeout, Bob, the Tartans. They have a 7-point lead. They have a big 4th down first round of the playoffs. And, of course, this is a new playoff system. Second and about 1.5 yards to go. Motion from Martin. They fake the pitch to him and hand it off on a misdirection, and he shoots through the line for the touchdown. Well-executed play, and Kasim Randall-Dale scores his 6th touchdown of the year. Call it a 14-yard run.
Wow. That was, it was almost like that counter crisscross they used to run in the wing formation, except they fake a pitch out and then hand the ball to a guy coming inside. It just outruns the defense. A big hole off the left side of that line and outruns the defense.
Here comes the kick for the extra point. Snaps a little high, gets it down. The kick's high enough, and it's good by Brian Cooey. And that makes it 21-7. Highland on top of Ocean City with that great running attack that they've shown. 3 different backs. Johnny Martin's the key, but 3 different backs have scored touchdowns here in the first half. 1684 for Shoppies since 1921. Here's the kickoff, end over end. comes down at about the 12-yard line. Lashley looking for room, and he's caught and wrestled to the ground at the 24 by Nick Teshko. So a first down for Ocean City from their own 24-yard line with 4:43 left in the first half. The Raiders trailing 21-7, scored the first 7 points with a really nice drive, 80-yard drive off the opening kickoff, but 21 unanswered points by this running game of Highland has given the Tartans the lead. Raiders come back onto the field now after huddling with their coach. Gray is in the backfield with Ungst. They've got a slot to the right. Actually, it's almost a double slot formation. Ungst takes the snap, drops back, under pressure, pump fakes, gets it away, floats it downfield. It's caught by Lashley at the 50. Was he in bounds? Yes, he was. It's going to be spotted at the 47-yard line of Highland. 6th first down for Ocean City, and another, Ungst was about to get hit when he got rid of that ball, put it right where it had to be, and Lashley's focus allowed him to make another great catch. That's the greatest passing combination among Cape Atlantic League football players this year. 1st and 10. Into the game is Isaac Wilson. He's to the right of Ungst. Back to throw, over the middle. It's off the shoulder pads, dropped by Kroger. There's a flag on the play. It's against Ocean City. So they could push him back. Let's see what they decide. It's a big penalty, I guess.
Holding.
10 yards. But it's more than 10 yards because it's going to take them back inside their 40 to the 39-yard line. So it's about 14-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So 1st and about 24. Bad snap. Ungst picks it up, but he's pulled down right away back at the 30-yard line by Javon Randall.
Yeah, about a 9-yard loss on that one.
So they're at the 33-yard line. 2nd and 28. Gray checks into the game for Ocean City. They switch footballs again. Ungst takes a snap, sets, pump fakes, tries to run, loses his footing and goes down. I think he was tripped in there by Divine Young. And he goes down back around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, between the holding penalty, the bad snap, and now the sack, Raiders are going backwards in a hurry. They got about 30 yards to go for the first down here.
33, as a matter of fact. 3rd down. Slot to the left, receiver to the right. Ungst back to throw. Little screen, ball's tipped, but Kroger makes the catch. However, he's going to go down for a 5-yard loss. Back around the 25-yard line. He was well covered. And Highland's going to use a timeout with 2:56 left in the first half. 2 tremendous punts so far by Rapetti. We'll see what happens this time. Actually, Highland has replaced the return back. And Jalen Waters, a 5'9", 180-pound freshman, seems to be the guy that's going to go back. But right now, there's a timeout.
First half.
Rapetti to punt. And Waters, the freshman, is back. There's a flag on the play before anything happens.
It's going to be offsides. They're coming after this punt, and they had about 4 or 5 guys jump. So the Raiders are going to gain 5 yards, but that 5 yards isn't going to mean much here. Except that it did tip the hand as far as what the punt defense is planning on doing.
Ball just across the 30. Ocean City repositioning some people. They only have one blocker in the backfield. Here's the snap. Rapetti gets the kick away. sails it downfield. He's going to get another great roll inside the 30, inside the 20, and down to about the 17 or 18-yard line. NFL scouts are going to be checking out Joe Rapetti when they see his punting average here.
Well, if not the NFL scouts, at least the Temple scouts
yeah,
who are in the far booth.
That's right.
But
he's placed the ball very well. It's not a fluke that some of these have gotten a good roll. They only have one guy back, and he's missing them. He's kicking to the side of them.
Right, and when that ball hits the ground, it's not taking that funny football bounce any which way. He's gotten the forward bounce every time.
Longest punt we've ever seen was 75 yards by Tim Chatburn back in 1976. Andrew Donahue had a 60-yarder a couple of years ago. We don't know the exact yardage of these, but we'll have it for you on OceanCitySports.com over the weekend. Here's a pass by Cooey. A man's wide open down there. Now, did he get his hands under it?
No.
Officials say no. It was a good effort by Dave Green, who's caught 8 passes this year for 100 yards. The pass was underthrown, but he couldn't get his hands under it, so it's incomplete.
Well, there's a case where, again, you haven't thrown the ball yet.
And you do it on your own 18.
Right. With you got a couple touchdown leads, so I guess you figure you could take a little bit of a risk here, but I don't think there was anybody within 10 yards of him.
No. So it's 2nd and 10, back on the 18-yard line. Highland with the ball, they lead it 21-7. Single setback. Cooey's under center, slot to the right, receiver to the left, hands it up the middle, shooting through the line, and losing the football is a scramble for it at about the 39-yard line, and Ocean City has recovered the football.
Austin
Green, who recovered one earlier this year for a touchdown, has his second recovery of the season at the Highland 38-yard line.
Well, I mean, Highland had not been whatever the opposite of beneficiary is, as far as a wet football, a victim of a wet football, and that time a good hit plus a wet football helps that ball to pop free because, again, that play had big yardage written all over it.
On the Highland 38-yard line with 2:26 left in the first half, Ocean City with the football. They've given up 21 unanswered points after taking a 7-0 lead. Ongst takes the snap. Pump fakes, has some time. Now he runs, stumbles for a moment, and he throws out desperation, incomplete to the sideline.
Well, he did a good job at the end there just to get rid of the ball, to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, he's facing about a 10 or 12-yard sack. And it looked like he wasn't going to be able to get rid of it in time. I don't know, maybe he didn't get a good grip on it initially or what, but he was able to throw that ball away.
2nd and 10. Ongst in the pistol, takes a snap. It's the shovel pass. The ball comes loose, but it's a forward pass.
Right.
Fans are excited because they think it's a fumble, but it doesn't matter whether you throw it overhand or underhand. If you throw it forward, it's a pass. So it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and now, there's not much time that's come off the clock. The Raiders have only used probably about 15 seconds here on these 2 plays, and now the clock stopped after that incompletion, so you're going to risk giving the ball back.
3rd and 10. Ongst takes a snap. Sets in. Ball knocked out of his hands. Now, was it a fumble? No. Officials say an incomplete pass. He was bringing his arm forward, and as long as the ball was in his hands as it started forward, it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it's interesting that Highland coaches seem to be complaining about every play. I mean, that was pretty obvious. He was throwing the ball, and it came out.
It's a close call, though, because you see it in replay on the NFL games, and you see it sometimes differently than you did at full speed. But the official referee called it right away. 4th and 10 anyway. Ocean City at the Highland 38. They're going to go for it with 2:03 remaining in the first half. Actually, there's a penalty, and it's going to give Ocean City a first down.
It may be unsportsmanlike. The other person who didn't want that to be a forward pass was Javon Randall, who had 6 points on defense in his sights.
That looks like a 10-yard penalty. How can there be a 10-yard penalty on the defense? But anyway, Ocean City's got a first down. There was never a signal that I saw from the referee.
I didn't see a signal or a flag.
Ball's inside the 18. Excuse me, a 28. Here's a pass. It's too high. Almost intercepted. Trying to get it to Schneider, and it was over his head, and a diving attempt by defensive back to pick it off. So it's 2nd and 10. Let's get that ball spotted for you. It's at the 28-yard line. 2nd and 10 with 1:58 left in the first half.
Trying to keep the footballs dry over there. That's a difficult job because at this point even the towels are wet.
Yeah, it's been a steady rain. Pretty light right now, but it's picked up a little bit a few times since this game started. Unks takes a snap, drops back, throws over the middle. It's caught by Schneider, and Schneider's pulled down just outside the 20-yard line, it looks like. So a 3rd down coming up.
Good tackle over there for Highland. I think of Jalen Waters maybe.
Ball's at the 22-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and a long 3. Angst in the pistol. Pokrass to his left. Takes a snap, drops back, throws over the middle. Wide open is Kroger. He's hit but doesn't go down. Drives off the right side, and he's going to be in a goal line situation inside the 10.
Boy, would this be a big score if the Raiders could knock one in here. Got about a clock stop now, so 1:16 left here in the first half. This would be a very big score to get. Instead of going in down 2 scores, you go down in 1 and maybe get a little bit of momentum into that locker room at halftime.
Ball's on the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, Ocean City. Angst checks the sidelines. Clock's running. Down to 52 seconds.
Taking a long time to get a play in.
They've got timeouts, and they're going to call one. They have one more net left after this, and of course they can only run 4 plays here. So timeout, Ocean City, with 43.7 seconds remaining in the first half. The Raiders are trailing 21-7.
Man who is talented.
He is indeed. 1st and goal at the 8. Angst. Now he checks the sideline even after a timeout. Takes a snap, sets, fires at the goal line. It's caught, and into the end zone is Beckman. Reaching behind him a little bit, but he pulled it in, and Brian Beckman scores his first touchdown of the year.
I'll tell you, Tom, that pass was right on the money, threaded the needle about as well as you could imagine. I mean, just an outstanding throw into traffic, right into Beckman's gut.
You know, the thing, I said it was a little behind him, and it had to be because the defensive back was in front of him.
Right.
And Beckman was able to make that adjustment. Here comes the kick from Soto. It's high enough. It's good. But did I hear a whistle? Maybe not. It must have been the band director. Because it's good. And Soto is 2 for 2. And Ocean City has cut that lead to 21-14 with 37 seconds left in the first half. The Storage Inn is a family-owned business.
Started the ball flat on the ground.
But this is Soto, and he kicks a ground ball right up the middle. It's bounced and taken at the 35-yard line, and he's still fighting for yards. Brings it out to almost a 40-yard line. So with 29.9 seconds left, Highland will have the ball. I'll call it its own 30-yard line, leading 21-14.
Yeah, and you can't necessarily just play prevent defense to prevent that pass because, you know, we've seen they can go 60 yards on a snap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have any timeouts left, Tom, officially or unofficially.
They have one, but each team has one, we believe. So a recovered fumble by Austin Green sets up a touchdown. Ocean City cuts the lead to 21-14. From the 40, Cooley under center, Dave Green split to the right. It's their top receiver. Cooey hands the ball off. Martin. And Martin is hit, but stays on his feet out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. And a timeout is called by Highland. So they're out of timeouts now with 20.5 seconds remaining. And they're out to the 47. A lot of teams,
so maybe that'll be a factor as well moving forward here.
Again, we remind you, Ocean City wins, or whoever wins this game, plays the winner between Hamilton and Clearview. If Ocean City loses, they'll play next Thursday, and they look like they're going down to a knee. Nope, they're not. Just a tight formation. And it's that misdirection play again, and Travis Sturley wasn't fooled this time. They do get a first down, though, across the 50 to about the 48 of Ocean City.
Which will stop the clock just long enough to move the chains.
And they're ready to spike the ball, and they do, before the chains are even set. So they only lost 1.7 seconds from the end of the play until the time they spiked it. And they'll have 2nd and 10 on the Ocean City 49-yard line. So well executed by Highland.
I was just going to say, well coached. You know, everybody was right there at the line of scrimmage, realizing that as soon as those chains were moved, that clock was going to start. And as you said, they only lost about a second and a half or so.
2nd and 10. Highland at the Ocean City 49. They've scored on 3 runs, 3 different backs. Cooey under center. Motion from Martin on the wing. He's trying to circle the right side. He gets a block, but he's wrestled to the ground at about the Kevin King on the tackle at about the 36-yard line. Clock down to 5.9 seconds. They move the chains again. They spike the football before the chains are set and stop the clock with 4.2 seconds left.
Yeah, well, the chains weren't set, you're right, but the referee was blowing the whistle and telling them let's go. And again, a second time in a row, they were up to the line of scrimmage, and you know the Raiders are willing to give them that 10 yards, and yet you know it does stop the clock and give them another play. That time, Martin around the end on a play that they scored on earlier.
2nd and 10 at the Ocean City 36, possibly the last play of the half. They're in the shotgun. Cooey back to throw, throws long down the field. There's triple coverage down there, and it's actually intercepted at the 3-yard line by Beckman. He runs it out to about the 7, and that's the end of the first half here in Blackwood, with Ocean City leading Highland by a score, Highland leading Ocean City by a score of 21-14. The game of the week produced by Prime Events on 106.3 The Shore, brought to you by Atlantic Care with urgent care centers all over South Jersey. Here's some updates on the Almer's Appliance scoreboard. Winslow leads Millville 13-8 in a surprise. He's only going to take 1 step, though, so this is probably going to go very far. Well, maybe 2 steps. Soto's kick. It's a little pooch. It's going to go to about the 35-yard line and trying to get to the outside, but great coverage by Ocean City. Pocrass in there on the stop, and David Dragon, who makes a lot of special team tackles, stop him at about the 35 or 36-yard line.
I tell you, you know, sometimes you wonder why that little pooch kick is beneficial. Tonight, I don't wonder why. You know, there are too many lightning fast backs back there to receive that kickoff and to pooch that ball and let the other team have it at the 30-yard line, 33 in this case. That's not a bad option.
First and 10 for 34. Cooey under center, single setback. Motion from Martin on the wing, trying to get around the left end. He's hit and pulled down for a gain of just a couple of yards by Brad Jamison.
Good tackle there. I mean, meets him head on, one-on-one, and you know, just drags him down. That's what they're going to have to do, and you know, they're going to try to jar that ball loose when they can. It looks like the rain is now stopped again. It's really kind of been annoying.
2nd down, a short 8 to go for Highland. Receivers left and right. Power I, or backs are in the eye. Martin's the deep back. He gets the ball, hesitates at the line of scrimmage, and falls ahead for maybe a yard or 2 out to about the 39-yard line.
Let's see who gets up off the bottom of that pile, because that's where Austin Green, because he took on two blockers took on him, and he was able to occupy both, which allowed the hole to be filled and then the tackle to be made.
By Brad Jamison.
Yep.
Who's got some good DNA. Single setback. Fake to Martin. Cooey's going to throw. Pass is complete, but short of a first down. A great hit right after he caught the ball. Guy might have. Who was that?
I don't know, but
he comes off the field like he injured his hand or his wrist, and we couldn't see his number. It was a great hit, about a yard short of a first down. This time I think they're going to punt.
Yeah, actually they moved the ball back. He's almost a long 2, maybe even 3 yards short. When you look where they put
about
the ball. Yeah, I guess 2.
Now we'll see one of those great punts we were watching Cooey give during the warm-up period.
Hey, listen, for the Raiders, they got to be happy to come out here and stuff Highland on their first series. Again, gives them some momentum.
Ocean City might have come offside. Well, there's no flag.
Nope.
Here's a punt. It's a fair catch, and it's caught at about the 21-yard line by Beckman. Lashley's usually back there. I'm wondering if Lashley's the guy that came off the field holding his wrist.
Highland coaches complaining about not getting the call there, and they're out on the field, a good 3, 4, 5 yards. They're going to have to be careful they don't get another flag. A Raider player did jump, but he did not jump across the line.
Just moved.
He just moved.
Okay. You saw it better than I
mean,
did.
it was right dead in front of me.
Right.
And, we're not as high up as we are usually. But, of course, the Highland coaching staff didn't see it that way.
Ball's out around the 23-yard line. Ungst takes a snap, hands it off, and out for a few yards to the 25 or 26.
Yeah, they do have to run the football here and there just to keep the defense honest. That first drive they had was a perfect blend of run and pass.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Gray checks in. He'll be to the right of Ungst, a little behind him. Ungst checks the sideline, drops back, sets, fires long down the sideline for Kroger, and it's broken up nicely. He was double covered down the left sideline.
Yeah, again, they have that 2 deep safety zone, which a lot of teams employ, and he had one-on-one coverage, plus the safety on that side was over there to help.
I don't see Lashley on the field. Beckman, Rogers,
Schneider
are all out there. Rogers actually just came off. Maybe I'm just missing him. Ungst takes a snap, steps inside pressure, rolls right, short pass is complete, and maybe just short of the first down to Kroger.
Yeah, I don't see him either, Tom.
So it's going to be 4th and about 2 or 3 yards to go for Ocean City, and they'll punt it away. Joe Rapetti has gotten off some great kicks, great rolls. 2 people back now for Highland. No rush at all. High kick toward the sidelines. It hits at the 45, rolls inside the 40, and Highland will put it into play at about the 38 or 39-yard line. So give a little applause to Joe Rapetti. I mean, he's kicked it high enough and put it in the right position and gotten the right roll that he's pretty much eliminated their returns.
Here comes Lashley's coming out on defense now, Tom. I was looking for him on the sideline, didn't see him. And he's now back on the field.
Ulmer Appliance Finals. Shawnee beat Mainland 25-7. Lenape over Kingsway 3-0. West Deptford beat Barnegat 53-7. Buna over Glassboro 35-12. More coming up. Right now, 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. It's Martin. Martin breaks through a hit in the backfield and gets a couple of yards to about the 42-yard line. Back on the scoreboard, Holy Spirit beat Morris Catholic 61-8. Delsey leads Deptford 14-0. Vineland over Toms River North 33-0. Winslow still leads Millville 13-8. All those scores on the Ulmer Appliance scoreboard. And the manager of that scoreboard tonight, Dean Mikowski. Second and about 6. Backs are in the eye. Receiver right. Cooey under center. Gives it to Martin. Trying to get to the right sideline. Gets a good block. He's got the first down, and he's bumped out of bounds.
Javon Randall was the one who threw the block, and it was a good block.
The ball's going to be spotted just outside the 45-yard line.
You know, last time we were up this way, I think Dean Mikowski joined us for dinner.
He's too busy now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The ball's at the 46-yard line.
Plus, I think he even treated.
I think you're dreaming. Ball's at the 46, 1st and 10. Receiver split to the right is T.J. Randall. Backs are in the eye. Martin's the deep back. He gets the ball. Boom! he's leveled in the backfield by Travis Sturley.
Well, the Raiders that time had a little, I don't know if you want to call it a blitz. I mean, usually you think of a blitz when you're figuring they're going to pass and put some pressure on, but he just came in unblocked and almost like he read the play and where it was going. And from that inside linebacker position, just made a good stop. He had especially good last couple weeks worth of defensive football.
Yeah, solid player. 2nd and 12. The ball's at the Ocean City 48-yard line. Halfway through the 3rd quarter. Cooey under center, gives it to Martin. Looking to go right. He avoids a player on the field and gets to the right sideline and out of bounds almost at the marker. So a pickup of about 12. We'll see if he got the first down. Yes, he did. They're moving the chains. So it's a first down for the Tartans, their 10th of the game.
You know, you watch him run, and the Raiders have been in good position to make tackles, and they go low around the ankle, and he just kind of steps right out of that low tackle like that. So they're going to have to, wrap him around the thighs.
5'9", 206-pound sophomore, and he's probably well over 1,500 yards now. Came into the game with about 1,350. Maybe not, but he's having a good game.
It's raining hard, too, now.
Single setback. Right up the middle is Randall, Javon Randall, and he picks up a few yards. Maybe 3. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, this is about as hard as it's rained, I think, all night, Tom. I'm hoping we got somebody bring the car over here for us.
They're bringing fresh towel out to try and keep the ball dry. As you said, towel's wet now, too.
Yeah, they don't have those heaters on the sideline that they put the balls in the NFL.
Well, this press box is heated. It didn't really need it tonight, but it's nice. Backs are split. Goes to Martin. He cuts it back, and he's hit hard for about a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Boy, that also was a good tackle. That was Brandon Lynn, I believe. Yep.
3rd and about 7, maybe almost 6 for Highland.
More important than being heated, this press box is dry.
Millville has just scored to take a 16-13 lead over Winslow.
Surprised that's not more bigger spread there in that game?
Oh, I thought Millville was a big favorite.
That's what I mean. 16-13?
Yeah. They'll play, if they hold on and win, they'll play Shawnee. They try to go right up the middle with Javon Randall, and this time he couldn't get his legs going, and he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it's 4th down. And a little more than 5 yards to go. They tend to go on, even though they got a great punter and decent place kicker, they tend to go on 4th down.
Again, I like to make sure I get the tackler right when it's a great tackle, and that was another really good, strong stop. I'm pretty sure Will Drain was the linebacker that time.
Martin's walking kind of slow back into the huddle here.
Yeah, he's been limping a little bit at different points in the game.
The quarterback isn't in the huddle yet. He's still talking to Brian Leary on the sideline. So they're going to call timeout, I think. Yep. Timeout called by Highland with 4:08 remaining in the third quarter. They're leading 21-14, but they're facing a fourth down and about 5 yards to go inside the Ocean City 35-yard line, about the 32-yard line. If you need
a better grip, which would be interesting if they made those for these kids wearing to catch a football.
Cooley under center, backs are split, Martin in motion. They pitch the ball going right to Randall, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage. Ocean City will take over the football, down by 7 with 4:02 left in the third quarter.
Really surprised at that call because, Ocean City's been pretty strong stopping the run to get around the outside and being able to string that play out, and there they did it again. Of course, the last two they tried to run up the middle, they were stopped as well. 3 times, actually, once by each of the 3 linebackers, Shirley, Lynn, and Drain. But, big stop there by the defense, and again, the momentum shifts a little bit toward the Raiders.
The flag was just thrown, I think.
Yeah.
Something was thrown in the air. Maybe it was a warning because nobody's stepping off any yards. Ocean City with the ball on their own 33-yard line, trailing by 7. 5 receivers out. Ungst, quick pass over the middle, incomplete. There's a collision there, and Lashley kind of looked at the referee like he wanted a call. Ungst got hit hard.
Yeah, there was a collision, and Lashley felt the collision occurred before the ball got there. It was pretty darn close, but that's, you don't see a lot of pass interference calls in high school.
Ungst doesn't seem to be, he seemed to be shaken up a little bit, but he's in the backfield by himself. 5 receivers out, 2nd and 10, and I think Ocean City might have noticed that. They're going to call timeout. Highland calls timeout. Ocean City's very glad because I'm sure they want to give Ungst a moment or two here to recover. 3:57 left third quarter. Highland 21, Ocean City 14.org. Did you ever see Driving Miss Daisy?
I did.
Great movie.
Yep.
Oh. Here we go. Ocean City in the pistol. 2nd and 10. Ungst talks to the offensive line. Gets the snap. Back. He's throwing long down the sideline, and it's caught at the 42-yard line. Looking for some room, and he's inside the 35, and a flag comes out.
Yeah, I don't know what the flag's going to be, but it's after the catch, although now Lashley's not real happy about something.
He's slow getting up.
Kind of got slammed to the ground on that tackle. But he made a great adjustment to come back and catch that ball. A little bit underthrown as he was racing down the sideline. He did a little fake and go.
The ball's at the 32-yard line.
I don't know what...
The penalty is against Ocean City for being too close to the sideline. And I think that's what the warning was before when they threw a flag and didn't step off a penalty. So it's a 5-yard penalty. Somebody might have come on the field in their excitement or something, but that's an unusual penalty. But, it's definitely a rule, and Ocean City is penalized 5 yards. But they got the first down at the 37-yard line of Highland.
Yeah, and, after you've had the warning, you kind of have to heed it.
Yeah. Receiver left, slot to the right. Wilson in the backfield. Back to throw, Ungst. Throw over the middle. It's incomplete. Schneider had it ripped out of his hands. Looked like he had at least one hand on it. But Oyami Adoga, who has 48 tackles for this team, knocked it out of his hands. 2nd and 10.
Really good. I tell you, when you can stay with Schneider one-on-one, you're quick. Yeah. Because Schneider is very, very quick.
2nd and 10. Ocean City at the Highland 37. Ungst Snap is a little off. He steps up. He's going to be hit. Hit at about the 42 for a loss of about 5 yards. The snap was a little off. He got one hand on it. It popped into the air. He got control of it, but by then the pressure had reached him, and it's going to be 3rd and 15 for Ocean City.
Yeah, he wanted Lashley down that left sideline, and again, I said it a few times, man-to-man coverage and 2 deep safety in a zone, so 5 against 3 favors the defense.
3rd and 15 at the 42 of the Highland. Unks gets the snap. Throws to the left sideline, and it's incomplete. He made the catch, but he was out of bounds. He was about 3 yards short of the first down. And it's going to be 4th down. Ocean City will punt the football and see if Rapetti can drop him down inside the 10 or something.
Yeah, actually, I think on the far sideline from where we sit, a really good catch over there, but, just out of bounds.
Rapetti will take the snap on the Ocean City 46. Single safety is back at the 10. He kicks it toward the sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds between the 10 and the 15, it looks like.
He's got that end-over-end boot.
We'll see where they spot this football. Looks like the 22.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tartan start on their own 22 with a 21-14 lead and 2.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Brian Cooey brings the play in. He's completed 53% of his passes this year for 515 yards and 2 touchdowns. They just don't throw it that much with this running game.
Yeah, he's only thrown it, twice tonight, and one was a desperation heave at the end of the first half.
Plus a 2-point conversion. It's a big play right now. Martin up the middle and almost breaks it. He stopped at the 30 by the last couple guys that had a shot at him.
He that time almost looked like he was going to run somebody over. Kind of did run over one of the defensive backs who was able to bring him down, but that was as much punishment on the hit as it was, offensively as it was defensively.
Brings it out to, the 30, where it'll be 2nd and 2. We don't think there's a lot of wind advantage, is there?
I don't think so, and actually the rain stopped again.
Yeah.
Let's go, Highland! Let's
What
go!
wind there is at Highland's back.
Randall wide to the left, receiver to the right. Cooey gives the ball straight up and breaking through for a first down across the 35 to about the 37 or 38-yard line is Martin.
Yeah, they just kind of pound it at you and try to wear you down, and there have been some times where the Raiders have just been very, very tough against the run, and there's other times where the offensive line has taken over and allowed the running back to gain those 7-8 yards. Of course, the running backs are having a lot to do with it as well.
Indeed. Ball's out to the 37-yard line. Cooey brings the play in from the sidelines, splits T.J. Randall to the left. Receiver split to the right is Dave Green. He's under center. Motion from the right wing. Looking for room up the middle and out to the 40. Still driving people out to maybe the 42-yard line. A strong run on that play by Martin. Ball's going to be at the 43-yard line, so they picked up about 7. It's 2nd and 3.
And, we talked about the Temple coaches here, I think looking at him, and he's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
So by the time he's a senior, they're liable to be other coaches.
Well, it'd probably be made a commitment by then. Martin in motion. They faked the pitch to him again and tried that misdirection play, and they didn't get the yardage that they did the first time. An initial hits by both Austin Green and Will Drain slowed him down in the backfield. He only got to the 45.
So this will be an interesting.
Well, there's a penalty on this play, I think. Yep, there's a flag, and they're stepping it off from the 44. 5-yard penalty. Yeah. Just didn't look like the right spot to step it off from, but I guess it is. 2nd and 8. They'll play the second down over and a 5-yard penalty.
Illegal procedure.
It's the end of the third quarter here in Blackwood. And Highland leads Ocean City 21-14. The Tartans trying to win their playoff opener 3 years in a row after never having won a playoff game in their history. Ocean City trying to win their first playoff victory in 17 years.
I don't know, a lot of umbrellas getting a workout up and down. But see what the fourth quarter brings.
You don't have many weathermen using the word mundane. Cooey under center, backs in the eye, gives it to Martin. He's hitting the backfield and brought down.
Yeah,
Travis Sturley again.
Yep, never really had a chance to get going. Looked like he was slow getting out of the gate there. And again, maybe there's some mud down there, and Sturley was right there to say you're not going anywhere.
What do you think? There's 50 Ocean City people on that side, and at least maybe 40 umbrellas.
Yeah,
a decent crowd for the weather conditions that were predicted and the 1 hour trip. Those of you that couldn't make it, hope you're listening and enjoying this. This is a competitive game. They're trying to sweep the right side with Martin. He's boxed in and finally brought down. Good defense by 3 or 4 players. Actually, Brandon Lynn made the stop, but 3 or 4 other players helped bring that about, including Bill Kroger.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's the person who's forcing the play back to where the cavalry is.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been the case there. There might be more than 50 people, especially when you count the ones all standing down along the fence and stuff. There might be 70.
Cooey to punt. Waits for the snap. He's been getting off some gravens. They got 3 blockers, a high snap, but he handles it. Not much of a rush. He punts it downfield. Ocean City's going to stay away from it. And it's going to roll down close to the 30. In fact, I think it's right on the 30. So Ocean City down by 7 will have the ball on its own 30 with 10 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The winner advances to play either Hamilton or Clearview. If it's Ocean City, it'll be at Hamilton or Clearview. If Highland wins, they will host Hamilton or Clearview.
Well, they better get some repairs done to this field by then, because it's chopped up now.
Ungst back to his left. Bad snap. He picks it up, rolling right. He's just going to run with it. And he may have gotten a yard before he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, he did a good job. He's being chased over there by Javon Randall. And that ball just kind of squirted back. Just really very difficult for the center. Ocean City's in that shotgun formation all the time, too. So it's not like you're just snapping it to somebody and you're not holding it. It's it's very, very difficult.
Somehow he got out of bounds right at the marker because it's 2nd and 10. Hands the ball off. And running room across the 40 and out to the 47-yard line is Kevin King. He disappeared into the line for a moment, and then all of a sudden out he came, and he's either happy. No, he's hurt.
He's got a cramp.
He was jumping up and down. He couldn't tell whether it was pain or joy, and he went down, and they're going to call the trainer out. Here she comes.
Yeah, I thought right away the way he was reacting after the first couple of jumps up and down, that might have been, why didn't I get more yardage out of this? Then you could tell he had a cramp somewhere, and then they're working on that left leg. One of the other players immediately went to him to help him stretch it out until the trainer could get out there from her place on the sideline.
In fact, he's helping him still.
Yep, that might be Ungst.
It might be Lashley, too. I can't see his number. These Ocean City jerseys have gotten wet and muddy, and some of the red on white numerals aren't as clear as they were at the beginning of the game.
Looks like a single number to me. That's why I thought it might have been Lashley. But can't tell.
It is Lashley.
And I said single number. I meant Ungst, not Lashley, but...
It's all right.
Yeah.
He jogs to the sidelines as King, just to come out. All right, they wind up the clock. 9:45 and counting. Ocean City on its own 47, 1st and 10, trailing by 7 here in the fourth quarter.
Trying to get some semblance of order out of this right now, on which receivers are supposed to be where.
Beckman split to the left, slot to the right. Schneider in the slot, and they hand the ball off to Wilson. Wilson is hit and driven out of bounds after about a 1-yard gain. So second, maybe 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8.
It's been a fast second half, Tom, compared to the first half.
We're at the 2-hour mark. Receiver left, slot right. Wilson still in there, and Ungst in the pistol. Ungst drops back, throws over the middle. It's incomplete. Trying to get it to Kroger. It was a flag on the play and a hold against Ocean City, which they probably will. Oh, he's going to take the penalty. I was going to say decline, but it have brought about a 3rd and 8. He's going to instead give him 2nd and 18.
I think the near sideline, when they saw that flag come out, they were screaming bloody murder, thinking it was going to be a roughing the passer penalty or an interference on the pass completion attempt. And then they got a little happier when it was a holding penalty against Ocean City.
Ball's back to the 33. 24 yards to go. 2nd and 24. Ungst throws. Did he get his hands under it? No. Lashley doesn't agree, but it's incomplete.
Well, there won't be any challenge flag. That's the thing.
There is on some games in New Jersey this year, but you have to have Huddle, which is the video organizer of high school video for all over the country. They have to be at the game with their cameras, and they aren't here. So it's incomplete. 3rd and 24. Ungst stops and looks to the sidelines. Snaps a little high, handles it. Pressure from behind, throws down the middle. Pass is incomplete. That's got to be, there it is. Flag on the play. Pass interference against Highland. They had hands all over him before the ball got anywhere near him.
Yeah, I don't know that the pass was catchable, but maybe it wasn't catchable because, he was holding them back so far early in the play. Now they got a coach who's 8 yards onto the field and another coach who's 4 yards onto the field. And
now it's not going to be a first. I don't think it's an automatic first down. Defensive holding is. I don't think that this is, and it's going to bring the ball out to the 43, where it's 3rd down and about 14 yards to go. 25 yards in penalties against Highland, 29 against Ocean City. 3rd and 4 at the Ocean City 43, 8:20 remaining 4th quarter. Ungst waits the snap. Takes it. Back to throw. Throwing down the right sideline. It's caught by Schneider for a first down at about the 36 or 37-yard line.
Well, the difference for the Raiders is that their receivers, Lashley and Schneider particularly, and this play is evidence of that, are able to make an adjustment to come back and catch the football while the defenders are, just trying to figure out where that ball might be.
In pass receiving yardage among all the receivers at Cape Atlantic League schools, Lashley is number 1 and Schneider is number 2. And Schneider just made a great catch there. Ball's on the 37 of Highland. 1st and 10 Ocean City. They trail by 7. Ungst, pressure, steps away from it. He can run. He's running to the left side. He's at the 30. He's at the 25, and he's out of bounds. Goes flying across the track.
Well, not on his
Stumbled
own
a little bit.
He got hit, Tom, a good couple yards out of bounds down there. It looked like, they pushed him into the kicking net.
Ball's on the 25-yard line. 1st and 10. He got the first down. 1st and 10 for Ocean City. Ungst has 5 rushing touchdowns this year until tonight when Kevin King scored. He's the only guy that scored a rushing touchdown for Ocean City. Now, there seems to be some question about who's on the field and who's off. And finally sprinting off is Mike Gray. And a flag. Illegal participation against Ocean City is a 5-yard penalty.
Now Kevin Smith's out on the field a little bit.
Now that's probably because Gray left after. Well, you can't leave the field if you're in the huddle under certain circumstances, but there is no huddle. But I don't know if that's their interpretation. It's a 5-yard penalty, and Ocean City will face 1st and 15.
Yeah, whatever it was, the coaches seldom win the arguments with the officials in any sport.
Oh, sure. Unless you've come up with a rule and the guy realizes he's wrong, you're not going to win. 1st and 15, the ball's at about the 30. Unks takes a snap. Tries to run between pressure and he can't do it. He's pulled down by Brad Small, who's the leading tackler on this team with 82, 11 for losses. That was number 12. He's a 6-foot, 174-pound junior. So now it's 2nd down and almost 20 yards to go.
Well, it's no secret that Ocean City's going to put the ball in the air. So, I mean, they're bringing everybody, and they've been doing that. And some plays the Raiders are able to keep them out, but they're coming off that left end pretty strong.
Gray's back in the game. Slot to the right, Lashley to the left. Ungst takes the snap. Fires over the middle, incomplete. Boy,
wow.
Just to get that pass through to Beckman was pretty amazing, but he couldn't hold it. There was 3 or 4 defenders there.
Actually, it seemed like there were 12 defenders there. he threw that ball into traffic. He threw it right to the spot where Beckman was headed, but there were 2 defenders between he and Beckman and 1 behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he did, I think, threw that exact same pass that Beckman caught.
So Gray comes out, Rogers is in, 5 receivers. Ungst is alone in the backfield. Gets the snap, fires over the middle, incomplete, no flag.
Yeah, and nobody on the Ocean City sideline is jumping up and down and screaming for a flag there, but there was some contact. The officials have pretty much let them play and fight for the ball a little bit.
Well, they're sending a bunch of people onto the field here. What do you think is going to happen?
I think they're going to punt. 4th and 20.
6:18 left. Ocean City still has all 3 timeouts. Kevin Smith had one of the assistants, we can't identify them all. Rapetti had a long conversation with Rapetti before he came out.
Going to kick it to the sideline. They don't have anybody deep.
He's at the 48. He gets the snap and pooches it to the right side, and it's going to go out of bounds, excuse me, inside the 10.
Well, they're still parading. 13 maybe.
So Highland takes over with a chance here to run out some time. 6:10 remaining. They lead 21-14.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not satisfied with a 1 touchdown lead here. 6 minutes to go. And we have a quarterback who can throw the ball like Unks can throw it, and he's got receivers who can catch it like they do. A 1 touchdown lead is not safe in the 4th quarter. Now the rain has stopped for now. Again, everything's still pretty wet, but the rain's off and on and off and on all game.
1st and 10 at the 15. Trying to get to the outside. Stopped and pushed backwards is Martin. Brandon Lynn, Bill Kroger. Also in there was Mike Rhodes. They're looking for Martin, but you can't just look for Martin because they've got a couple of other outstanding backs. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and Ocean City's really stepped up here in the second half. I thought in the first quarter they were a little tough to adjust to the speed of these running backs, but they really stepped up as far as gang tackling.
Cooey under center. Pitches the ball going right. Cuts it back nicely to Martin. Picks up a few yards out to about the 18. But it'll be third down and long. Here's updates on the Ulmer Appliance scoreboard. Millville now leads Winslow 36-20 in the fourth quarter. Vineland 33-0 over Toms River North in the fourth quarter. Haddonfield has beaten Sterling, so it'll be Pleasantville at Haddonfield next Friday. That was a 41-7 win by Haddonfield. And Timber Creek leads Wall 27-14 in the fourth quarter. Timber Creek, of course, part of the same school district as Highland. So here we go. Third and about 8. Cooey hands it up the middle. He breaks through for a moment, but don't think he got the first down. He might be pretty close.
He is going to be close, and I can't imagine that you would risk a fourth down. The Raiders have stopped you on fourth and a couple on more than one occasion. I think twice they stopped them, although twice they scored touchdowns. 4th and 1 with a 1, yeah, you can't. You got to kick. I mean, 4th and 1, deep in your own territory. You're on the 23-yard line. You got a 1 touchdown lead. Your defense has played tough here in the second half. You got to kick.
4 minutes left. Cooey stands at about his own 5. Lashley is at midfield. Ocean City does not return a lot of kicks. Bad snap. It's on the ground. He gets it off, but it's not very deep. Gets a nice roll, however, across the 40. Why didn't you let it roll a little longer? Across the 45, it stopped at the 46. Well, good job by Cooey. That was a bad snap. It was on the ground, and he still managed to get it away.
And not only was it a good play by Cooey, it was a good play by 4 Ocean City guys who were rushing the punt not to make contact with him. Because you could tell once that ball was on the ground, they had block in their minds, and they kind of slipped and slid back there and were able to avoid hitting him as the rain comes again.
3:46 remaining, fourth quarter. Ocean City, 1st and 10 on the Highland 44. Highland leads 21-14. Nobody scored in the second half. Unks gets the snap, rolling right. He looks, he passes for Schneider. Schneider dives, makes the catch for a first down.
Yeah, see, they're pretty much double covering Lashley just about everywhere. So, Schneider's got single coverage. It's not like he's wide open or anything, but the just seems to be that he has a little bit more opportunity.
They're on the 32, 1st and 10. Ungst over the middle. It's caught by Kroger. Kroger has some running room. Runs through a tackle. He's at the 10 and down close. We'll see where they end up spotting the football, but Ocean City gets its 14th first down. Bill Croton's got to be one of the best at yards after the catch. He is tough to bring down. He's a strong, hard runner and just a good all-around football player.
And he's going to be bigger and stronger than a lot of those defensive backs that he's running over after that catch.
Looks like it's on about the 8. 1st and goal on the 8. Ocean City looking to tie the game. They give the ball straight ahead to King, and he's down around the 5.
I'll tell you, the Raiders have so many weapons as far as receivers, Tom, that it's really tough. I mean, obviously, everybody's going to key on Lashley. He leads the league in touchdown catches, and he's just a tremendous receiver. But there are a lot of other guys on that team who can catch the ball.
2nd and goal at the 5. Ungst checks the sidelines again. He shifts the slot back from right to left. High snap. Gives it to King again. He drives down to about the 2-yard line, I think.
Have to see where they put the yard marker.
So it's 3rd and goal, maybe at the 1.
I can't tell, Tom. Almost looks like he's at the 3. Look on the far side. Is he that far from the pylon?
I think it's at the 2. A 3rd and goal. Unks takes the snap. Hands it off again. Driving straight ahead. The play continues. Ocean City thinks he's in. No official has signaled. 4th down. And the ball is just outside the goal line.
Wow. Now what?
Been some thrillers. Overtime with Oak Crest. Last second field goal by Mainland. And here we go. With 1:25 left. Ocean City's inside the 1, trying to score the tying touchdown. Unks comes up under center. And Highland spends its final timeout.
Wow.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Where do they start the eighth?
Favorite high school team every week. Well, this could decide who's moving into the semifinals. Ocean City trying to tie the game here. 4th and goal inside the 1. Unks takes the snap. The ball is fumbled. He tried to hand it off to King, but they could not make the exchange, and it was recovered by Highland. So they have a duck a bullet here, and they get the ball at about their own 2 or 3 yard line.
Well, it almost looked to me, Tom, like it was an option, and just like the last couple of plays, and Unks, I believe, was trying to take the ball back from King, and when he was trying to take it back, whether one was holding on to it or thought he was supposed to be holding, whatever. As he tried to, in my opinion, to pull the ball back out of there, it just wasn't clean, and the ball went to the ground, and that's although Ocean City still has all their timeouts left.
Highland takes over on its own 2 yard line. Of course, Ocean City's defense is saying this is the time to make a 3 yard loss.
Right.
It's 1st and 10 on the 2. Cooey comes up under center, looks over the defense, takes a snap, hands it off up the middle, and he's got a little bit of room out to about the 4 or 5 yard line. Ocean City calls timeout.
Boy, what a contrast in halves. A 21-14 halftime score where the team score 5 touchdowns in the first 2 quarters, and no one's scored in the next 2 quarters.
To 7. So if this holds up, Clearview will come here next week to play against Highland. Here's a handoff up the middle and maybe a yard. So it'll be 3rd down, timeout Ocean City.
Yeah, so this will be the game right here, because if they don't get the first down, they're definitely going to kick the football. So they're going to, which would give the Raiders one last-ditch effort, whether or not they would go for an all-out block on the punt or, just try to get a couple decent plays with under a minute to go.
3rd and 5. Highland trying to put something together here that can get that first down and pretty much seal this victory.
And the Raiders have 1 timeout left, so if they are able to hold them here, again, that 4th down will go with about 55 seconds left. But if you don't stop them here, it's a moot point.
3rd and 5. Tartans break the huddle. Receiver split to the left. Martin's the deep back in the eye. Cooey under center. Takes a snap. Gives it to Martin, going left, and he breaks into the open. It's a foot race, and they're not closing on him.
They're not catching him.
He almost did catch him. I think Martin got tired. And who was that chasing him? Was that Rogers?
Might have been. It was a clean jersey.
Yeah, it was. In the last 10 yards, he got close, but he didn't catch him. And he goes 93 yards for a touchdown to seal this win.
Yeah. Well, like we said, if they didn't stop him there, it wasn't going to matter. And that 2 touchdown leads are going to be a little bit misleading as far as how this football game went.
It looked like they had him slowed down at the line of scrimmage, but he burst through, and it's tough to chase down. But Rogers, give him credit. He gave it quite an effort. There's a flag on the play, but I don't think it means anything. In fact, the manager from or maybe an assistant coach from Highland pointed to it to the referee, and he said, just take it off. So one of the officials doesn't have a flag. Cooley to kick the extra point.
Give it to the side, Jeff, on this side. He needs a flag.
Ball is down. The kick is up. It's high enough. It's good. And it's 28-14. Highland on top of Ocean City with 45.3 seconds left. The Raiders will get the ball. St. Augustine is leading Notre Dame 41-7 in the fourth quarter. So they approach. He does, and he kicks it to the sideline. Lastly, runs down and picks it up at about the 18-yard line. Laterals it back to Schneider, but good coverage by Highland, and they stop Schneider for about a 1-yard gain. So Ocean City will take over the football on its own 23-yard line, down by 2 scores. Ocean City. This, Highland is 7-1, and they were the definite favorite. They beat Oakcrest 31-0 earlier this season, but Ocean City gave them quite a battle here. One play away from tying the game in the fourth quarter. Unks takes the snap. They've had a lot of problems with that here. He throws over the middle and incomplete for Schneider. Trying to make the catch at around the 41. Thought he was interfered with, and there is a flag. There is a flag. It's a holding penalty against Highland. It's going to give Ocean City a first down. Officials talking about it. They haven't stepped it off yet, but they're about to. It looks like it's a 5-yard. Wait a minute. It's an automatic first down. I'm sorry. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down. So they're from the 33 now with 34 seconds left. Unks back to throw. Passes to the sideline, and it's caught. And pushed out of bounds is Schneider at about the 40, where it's 2nd and 2 with 29 seconds left. Highland has 2 guys deep, 2 safeties. They're 30 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ungst back to throw, steps up, throws. Nice catch by Kroger, and he makes the stop at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, they're at this point, Highland's willing to give you that underneath pass, knowing that you need 2 scores in 22 seconds.
Spikes the ball. Ocean City trying to use this as a teaching situation, trying to see if they can get downfield in 40 seconds or whatever 45 seconds, even though it's not going to help them win the football game. They still have a timeout left. 20 seconds left. Ocean City is at the 42 of Highland.
And if you score here, who knows? An onside kick. They did it in Heidi Bowl, didn't they?
Ungst back to throw. Quick pass over the middle. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Beckman. It was a little short.
Does stop the clock, but now at this point, 15 seconds left. Highland's going to escape out of here, Tom, and people are going to look at the score and say, well, 2 touchdowns, that's about what we figured. But this was a
Gray checks in. Rogers is going to split now they're going to move him to the right. Lashley will come out to the left. Schneider will be in the slot.
People think you don't have to be smart to play football.
Ungst takes a snap, drops back. Running, caught from behind. And see if Ocean City uses its timeout. I don't think they will.
No.
So that's it. Highland defeats Ocean City 28-14 in a hard-fought game in Group 4. Highland will host Clearview here on next Friday in the semifinals. Millville will play Shawnee I don't know if the Millville game's over, but they seem to be in control of the game, 2 scores ahead. Vineland has won its first ever playoff game, though there wasn't much doubt with the scores we were getting, 33-0 over Toms River North. Final score here, 28-14. We'll take time out for some messages, and then we'll be back. The Game of the Week, produced by Prime Events on 106.3 The Shore, brought to you by Atlantic Care, with urgent care centers all over South Jersey.